did great.
What is alignment?
Finding that angle where your cue ball is going to travel to hit your aim or your object ball. Like keeping your body perpendicular with that.
Yeah, that's where the body part is very important. So this right here, what I teach people is every time, okay, you guys know the ghost ball, right? When you find your spot to hit? Yeah. Okay, so this is how you're going to get your alignment good every time. And one thing that people do, okay, I'm going to shoot the 5, right? I'm going to use that as my ghost ball. One thing that people do when if you notice they'll come on the shot, and you do it sometimes too. You come down, well, do it. You did it, every time I see you, but you come down and you stand over the shot and then you put your stick and your bridge down at the same time, right? So you go down here. That's fine if it's perfect and it feels good. But what happens if it's just a hair off? What do you have to do? You have to move this, just a hair, right? Well, now, if this moves anywhere, then now this is not aligned with your body anymore. Because now if this moves a millimeter, now you're supposed to be shuffling a millimeter, right? So Okay, basically, first thing that I teach people how to aim is, what am I looking at? The point of the ball, or cue ball, or object ball, what are we looking at? Well, there's only one way to aim when you're playing pool. I mean, people can say it a bunch of different ways, but what you're looking at is the ghost ball. And the ghost ball is, there's only one place that you can make contact to make a ball go in the hole. So, if you put a ball directly behind the object ball you're trying to hit, and you make a straight line right behind it, going to the hole, that is called your ghost ball. So that, when you're shooting the cue ball, you want to, this cue ball has to take place of that ghost ball. So if this ball goes exactly where that ball was, then it's going to go in. So this is the ghost ball. That's the theory you should. And the way you address when you align and you're getting set to get your stance and your aim, you want to get down and address the cue ball from the center of the cue ball to the center of that ghost ball. So you're making a straight line, but that ball's never there. That's why it's called a ghost ball. When you're aiming, that ball's never there. You're just imagining that there's a ball right there, and this cue ball takes the place of that ball. So that's what you're doing. So I'm going to have Ron shoot a shot. So Ron, you're going to get down. I'm going to put the ghost ball here. I want you to align that center of that cue ball to the center of this ghost ball here. Okay, and then when I move it away, just hit where that ball was. Okay, so that's where anywhere you put the ball. So now, if I put it, if I'm going to shoot this ball here, so let's say it's cutting it here. Now I put this ball. I'll make a straight line, going like a railroad track going in. Now that center of that cue ball again to the center of the ghost ball. This time it's on this side of the ball. So when he touches that center of that ball, it goes right in. So that's basically how you aim. So now the reason why the ghost ball is so important is because anywhere on the table, when you're going to shoot a ball, let's say the 7 ball here, you know, and now you're up here. Sorry, you're up here, and you want to shoot the 7 into that pocket. Well, the ghost ball would be just like this. Doesn't matter where it is. The ghost ball will be here. So if I can get down on the ball, center to the center of the ghost ball, where that ball was, I remember where that ball was, boom, go straight in. That's the key. So now when people are aiming and looking at the ball, that's what you should be looking at. You should be looking at that imaginary ball right behind the object ball going straight into the hole, and that's your ghost ball. So that's for people that want to learn, that is your whole theory. So if you want somebody to teach you, or you want to practice, you practice putting that a ball behind there, so you get used to visually seeing that ghost ball. And then, and the way you know that you lined up the ghost ball straight is if, so let's say we use this as a ghost ball here, and the way you know your alignment is straight is, all you got to do is just, even if you left the ghost ball there, and you hit it, the cue ball hit it, then it'll go in, because the ghost ball is lined up straight. So that's how you want to make sure it's lined up perfectly straight, so that you know what you're looking at when you're aiming. And that's basically it. That's a ghost ball. That's how you aim. That's how I started aiming. That's how everybody, people can explain it a few different ways, imaginary ball, or, whatever they're looking at, but it's, that's what it is. It's just, there was only one spot that this ball, that cue ball is going to touch the object ball to make it go in here. And that's right here, going into the hole. And that's it. So,
thanks, Rodney.
Yeah.
I'll have to practice a few times here and see how it goes.
There you go. Remember, it's always, your alignment is always the center of the cue ball to the center of that ghost ball for any shot. And that's how you know it's going straight. You can pretty much do it. You look like you can do this all day.
Well, we'll see. But most people don't let me shoot.
Center to center of the ghost ball. And that's your alignment. It's important to get your alignment center to center. Center of the cue ball to the center of that ghost ball, because then you just push straight back and forth. If you start off and you're aligned different, watch what happens. I'm going to show Ron. Okay, Ron. Now line up the center of the ghost ball to the edge of this 2 ball here. Okay, we're going to do an extreme. Okay, now because your body's aligned wrong. He's not aligned to the center of this ghost ball. Now you want to hit that center of the ghost ball from there. Now what are you going to do?
Well,
you're going to move on it, right?
Right.
See, now your arm, your hand, and everything's going to want to move, but it's not aligned with your body. So that's why it's very important from the beginning, from the setup, you have to align the center of the cue ball to the center of the ghost ball. That way your body and the stick is in line. It's in one, like shooting a bow and arrow. It's the same. Everything is going in the same direction. It's like I always show people, like if you're shooting, I don't know, I wasn't in archery, but I imagine if you're shooting and you're like this set up, but your target is over to the right. Well, you're gonna go like that. No, you're not gonna. You're gonna move everything this way. You're not gonna just go like this and shoot, right? So it's the same way. It's like that. Your body has to be aligned with the upper body of the shot. Your hand, everything's going in one motion.
Well, tell us a little bit about that video you have that's
we did
you already have available.
Yeah, there's 13 of us pros got together and we did instructional DVD, and it's the website is Runout Media, but it's runoutmedia.com. But I think the name of the DVD is Break and Run, so it's very good. It's 13 guys, everybody did a little section, and it's you'd be surprised how good it is. The quality is great. We got some outtakes. It's a 3-disc DVD set, so it's pretty good.
Who else is on it with you?
John Moore from Canada, Raj Handal from London, Dennis Hatch, I think Earl Strickland, myself, Alex Pagalayan. There's a bunch of guys. Yeah, whoever was available to do it. I guess they at the U.S. Open.
So do you think I can get a copy and get it saturated around here in Humboldt County?
Sure. Yeah. If anybody wants to, just get in touch with you or get in touch with me some way. I guess we can figure out the website and let me know.
Well, that's what it takes, is a few lessons to get people past the starting point, and then we can, as they learn, then we can have some really nice tournaments here at Reds.
Definitely, yeah. One thing I was blessed with in the beginning of my game, when I first picked up the cue, somebody told me right away the basics, like really good basics. So right when I picked up the cue, I looked like I could play already, even though I just picked up the cue. But it was a friend of mine that actually took the time. He took about half an hour and showed me, this is what you got to do, this is how you stand, this is how you hold the cue and all that. So I didn't have bad habits from the beginning. So it's very important, when you start playing better and people teach you, you start having more fun. You start enjoying the game more because everything's, solid, your fundamentals. So the DVD, obviously I'm the first one that comes out on the DVD, but I start out with the advanced basics. So it's pretty much, if you're learning, you want to watch that because it's stuff that applies to us, all of our careers.
But then I could get some little personal tips like this and show it to our viewers in Humboldt County too, right?
Oh yeah.
So this little clip we did right here?
Yeah, sure.
All right, well, hey, that's great. Thank you, Rodney.
Very good, thank you.
Hey everybody, how's it going? I'm Charlie Harm with ProPool.com, and I'm being joined here today with Rocket Rodney Morris. How's it going, man?
Hey, what's up?
Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thank you.
Rodney's out here helping us out develop the ProPool.com thing and kind of market it. We're out here on the Redwood Coast in California. I don't know why that's messed up like that. Anyways, how's it going, man? How you been doing?
Okay.
Well, one of the things I wanted to ask you is what got you into pool, playing pool?
Girls, mostly. I just walked into the pool room and seen everybody was hanging out there. So my friend played pretty good. He started like a month before me, and all the girls are watching. Wow, you play good. So I was like, oh, let me learn this game here. So that's how I fell in love with the game. So and then after about 2 months, none of my friends would play with me anymore. So
You just got
I got
to
to
that
play by
level.
myself. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's obviously what led you being in the pros and playing on tournaments and stuff like that, right?
Yeah. Well, for the first 6 months to a year, all I did was just spend 18 hours a day in the pool room just practicing by myself. And then all my lunch money, all the money Mom gave me, I just played pool. And then after a while, I stopped playing as much. And then Hawaiian Brian, the owner, he was like, how come you're not playing anymore? And I said, oh, I don't got no money. And he said, I'll tell you what, you just clean the tables, empty the trash. He said, we'll let you play pool for a year, but don't tell nobody.
Nice.
So that was cool. And then now I'm back playing. I would stay up 2 days straight playing pool. And then, I'd go to bed for a whole day, stay up. So
Gotcha.
I loved it. It was great.
And during that time, and probably even now, who's your inspiration? Is there anybody in the pro pool world that you looked up to?
Yeah, well, at that time, the top guys, was Efren Reyes, the magician from the Philippines, and Earl Strickland. So they were the 2 top guys. So I wanted to be just like both of them. So I remember when I won the U.S. Open in '96. They said, one of the biggest compliments I got was somebody said, he has the power of Earl Strickland and the finesse of Efren Reyes. I was like, okay, I'm done after that. I don't have to do anything anymore in my life. That was the best compliment ever.
Yeah, definitely. And how did you get your name, The Rocket?
Well, when I walked into the pool room, I started getting good. I wanted to start playing some guys for money, try to, double my $8 I had.
Right.
So then I used to play these guys, and they never knew my name. But I used to run around the table super fast, and then the guy said, man, where's that kid? I want to play him. I want to get my money back. He said, well, who is it? And they said, he runs around the table like a rocket. And then when he see me, he's like, there's that rocket guy. So that was it. Every time they're like, Rocket, come on, let's play. So then that was it. That's how I got my name. But I used to play super fast. Yeah, that's funny.
But you know, that's where you got to get a nickname from a genuine source. You know,
Yeah,
we were discussing that before.
Yeah. You can't name you know, yourself. You can't give yourself your nickname. So
it's a little too egotistical.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. There, that was the other one. Sorry, Zach. What have you been up to these days? I mean, you've got a long career. I was curious about what you've been up to, you know, recently. What do you got going on?
Well, right now, you know, I'm still playing. You know, we don't have as much tournaments as we used to, you know, on the pro level. You know, and so I started a clothing company. You know, so it's you know, I got my own shirts is one of them. But so I'm going to Hawaii for a couple months to start promoting that, and then you know, I'm sponsored by Poison Cues. So that's good. I got my own line of cues, and that's it basically. And then we got a new tour started, a new game a guy invented as a bonus ball. So I'll be doing that, and we'll be based in Vegas starting November 1st. So that'd be, you know, we're pretty excited about, you know, a few of those things.
You're gonna be moving out there here too.
Yeah, I'll be living in Vegas. I don't know how I'm gonna survive, but you know, I'm gonna do it. It's too much going on. I don't think I'll ever sleep.
Yeah, Vegas is it's a different place, that's
Yeah.
for sure. Well, you know what? You're familiar with Ron's ProPool.com creation, the online tournaments and everything. I was curious to get your input on it. What you think about it?
Oh, it's great. I mean, it's, you know, it's innovative. You know, definitely nobody's doing it. So
Right.
anytime you're trying to, you know, break into something that you know, nobody's doing, and you know, introduce something new, you know, it's first thing is you got to let everybody know about it and explain it to them. So, but I think once everybody sees the potential and, you know, how easy it actually is,
Right.
I think people catch on, then it'll grow. You know, there's a lot of companies, like I've been doing research on t-shirt companies. Well, Tap Out, you know, as great, as popular as it is now, well, they were beating the bushes for 10 years before
Right.
anybody knew anything. So that's what it takes, you know, investing the money in the right areas, you know, so that you can grow. You know,
And staying persistent.
Yeah, that's it. You got to do it.
What, you know, there's some different aspects of the game, like Ron's created the 0 to 1,000 performance rating, and got the handicap. What do you think about those two things, the performance rating and the handicap? As you know, as far as the process of the game and how it affects it, and you know, what are your opinions on it?
Well, it's pretty good actually. That's you know, to come up with a handicap system, you know, just like that, and for it to be as accurate as it was, because we played a few games.
Right.
That's pretty awesome that you can, you know, come that close right away. And
Right.
I'm sure after you play thousands and thousands of games, you get, you know, you tweak it and get a little more
Right.
refined. You figure out the, you know, to make it, you know, more fair for the better player and the weaker player. So I think it's good. It's got a lot of potential, and it's a really good it's a really good starting point for the handicap. Yeah.
Yeah, I was there the other day when you were doing the blue screen shots and all that. Did you like that? What'd you think of that concept about the whole virtual pool room thing?
Yeah, I think it's awesome. You know, right now they've been doing a lot of challenge matches, you know, live stream matches, and I'm going to do one with Darren Appleton on August 10th or the 12th. We'll be playing like a $100,000 match. So, and we're not going to be doing that with the background and all that, so people are going to just watch us around the pool table. But, you know, if Ron was doing it, it would be, you know, when I'm shooting, you know, I want Hawaii in the background.
Yeah, exactly.
So all my friends are watching in Hawaii, they can, you know, they'll feel comfortable watching.
Right, you can represent for your area.
Yeah,
exactly.
exactly.
Customize it to what you're doing.
Yeah, so it's good.
Right.
It adds another element. So it's like you're just watching two guys play pool, which you do all the time, but you're watching a movie, like, you know. So it's like, you know, so that's really, there's a lot of potential there.
Yeah, one of the things we were talking about when doing it was with commentating and stuff like that. You know, we wanted to give a commentary to while people were playing. We thought it'd be really cool to, you know, so it would be a way for us to stand in on the game without being in anybody's way. We could kind of be on the blue screen and talking about the game as it's happening, but we don't have to be standing right behind the player, getting in their way and stuff like that. So people watching could, you know, I don't know, it adds a bit of an element to the game to where you can help assist them with the view and explain to them what's going on and stuff like that. It's just
definitely, that's
one of the
way
things
better.
we're talking about.
And then a lot of times when we're playing, I know, you know, when the guys are doing commentary, you know, if they get excited, now we hear them when we're shooting.
Right.
So you can get further away where nobody can hear you, and you can do the commentating, and that's awesome.
Right, then you're exactly, that's what I'm saying. It's kind of a no harm approach, you know, so it's out of the way and everything. You know, Ron was talking to me earlier on about the, you know, what he was kind of calling the Super Bowl of pool. Do you remember talking about that with him?
Yeah, a little bit. You know, he's got a lot of great ideas.
Right.
So.
And well, one of the things I was thinking is, you know, it's one of those kind of things that pool doesn't have a system like that where pool players that, you know, they're statistically at the top. It's just kind of a show up and play kind of thing. And you have something going on that you were talking to me about your practice regime, kind of the.
Yeah. A friend of mine called it the rocket runout format,
Run-Out.
but it's basically just you shooting your own score, kind of like golf.
Right.
So that's I feel that there's too much elements when you're playing a one-on-one match that can factor in a lot of luck going on in the game. Well, I don't hear the golfers complaining about luck. Either I played bad or I played good, and same way. Tennis, the guys don't say, "Oh, I got lucky." You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like it's not. You make a bad shot, you should get punished. So and you make a great shot, you should get rewarded. So it's the same principle. It's all offense, and just kind of you play your own, try to shoot your best score over 2 days or 4 days, and that's it. And whoever shot the best score wins the tournament.
Yeah, I like all these new different innovations to the game. Because anything that stays is exactly the same too long, it gets old and stagnant. You know what I'm saying? Otherwise, people would be playing in football and leather helmets still. You know what I mean? Everything kind of progresses, so you got to have that progression. I like that idea. But we're just about pretty much out of time. But a couple of things I wanted to ask you before we went is, what was your most memorable moment? Did we already talk about this?
Yeah,
today?
it's no, not today.
Okay.
But my memorable moment was the first time I played in the Moscone Cup for Team USA. So that was just the most incredible thing because we had lost every match the day before the last day, so Saturday, and we were down I think 8 matches to 6, and it was going to like 11. So we pretty much had to win, almost every match, because everybody had to play singles matches that day, and so I was a rookie that time, and then. So nobody wanted to go on the whole team. You got all these legends, and nobody wanted to go first.
Right.
Everybody wanted to play second, third. They wanted, So naturally, Nick Varner was the captain, and he asked me. He says, when do you want to go? And I already kind of knew nobody wanted to go first, right? And then I said, I want to go first. And then after that, I think Johnny should go. And then Earl, and then and I started taking charge of the lineup, and then it came out perfect. We won almost every single match, and we ended up winning. And I remember the match. Very well against Thorsten Holman. He was their enforcer. His nickname was a Hitman. So they brought out the Hitman first against me, and it was a great man. He got every roll you can imagine, and I had every bad roll ever, and I was the only guy in the world that knew I was going to win that match. Right. After the match, everybody said, "Man, I can't believe you won that match." I was like, there was no option. Right. We had to win. So it was great. Yeah, and I played great. He played great, but he missed, I think, a shot at the very end there. And that was it. That was the door, and that was it. We won, and we ended up winning the Moscone Cup. It was great. Yeah,
I remember when you were talking about it yesterday. Everybody was kind of on their feet. The audience was kind of electric and everything.
Yeah, it was unbelievable. It's the only event in the world that every shot you just want to jump up and scream and cheer, and the audience is going crazy. It's live in like 70-something countries. So people are online, pulling it.
Yeah, right, totally.
It's pretty cool.
Another thing I was wondering if for the viewers out there. You're a pro, so I just want to kind of glean a little bit of information. Maybe you got a quick tip to give somebody to help with their game. Anything, just something simple they can use.
Well, one thing I notice about a lot of amateurs, when the cue ball starts getting closer to the rail, they start wanting to elevate their cue. When you elevate your cue, it's not going level. So now if you mishit the cue ball just to the left or right, just a hair, it puts English on the ball and it makes it spin. Right. So it's called like a masse shot. So it's the more level you are, the more you push through the ball level, then it's not gonna move the cue ball left or right. Okay. So that's very important. So everybody, I would recommend just make sure the stick is level with the surface as much as you can. Because the more you elevate, the more inaccurate you're gonna be. So that's probably the biggest thing I see amateurs. They want to get at the back and just start lifting up here.
Right, I've seen the same exact thing.
It's like it's the opposite. You want to be level and catch the middle of the cue ball.
That's a great tip. Thank you, man. Yeah. Well, awesome. I hope you enjoy the rest of your time here at the Redwood Coast. Are you going to be here another day or so?
Yeah, a couple more days. So
right on. Yeah, you guys had the news event last night. How'd that go?
Good. Yeah, there's like 4 or 5 people came down, was seen on the news and played the game and stuff. That's pretty cool.
Oh, that's cool. So someone who saw it on TV came and did it. Well, that's really cool. That's
awesome.
Right on. I didn't realize that. We were talking about it, but he hadn't mentioned that part to me. Cool, man. Well, it was great having you here.
Right, thanks, brother.
Definitely. You guys check out, Rodney. He's going to be doing that thing like he said in Las Vegas. Check that out. He's also got the Brada Bing shirt company going on. Check that out. What is your website name, by the way? For that?
It's bdbtimes2.com.
bdb2times2.com. There's also the Rodney Morris line of poison cues. You go pick one of those up. And also, as always, check out propool.com and get an event started in your town today. Awesome. Have a great day.
It's a good.
Right.
number here, phone number. So,
I'm trying to find yours.
Gary K.
Gary K.
How many are
That's Gary Plankton. Yeah, big guy.
to have extra shots?